Overwatch is a decent game to play with your friends, or enjoyable after eating a week. But I find some of these characters either boring, or very complex, or a snooze fest to play as to either turn my brain off, or playing a staring contest with another manga player. Which is why I decided to switch roles, so if instead of playing DPS or tank, I decided to play a support. Reason behind it? All because of a cat that can fly. But who is Jetpack Cat? After playing as Fika for over 100 hours, I can purely say that after playing as her is equivalent to playing a bullet hell game, and a reason why some people like myself shouldn't be able to be trusted with a Glock.
I'm dead, goodbye guys.
But it wasn't Ray, so I don't mind. Bye!
Back to the question, you might be thinking, who is Fika? Fika was adopted by Brigitte and basically turned her jetpack project into a reality. Anyways, outside of her origin, Jetpack Cat is a mobility permanent flying support hero that relies on movement and healing other heroes. Her health kit is 225, being tactician support role, ranging from abusing the lifeline ability that'll put you in third person perspective, to throwing people into either the enemy team, killing them in environments, or making sure the enemy tank is being used like it's a pinata. Starting things off with her base kit, Fika's main weapon that she uses is biotic projectiles, which is the pun for causing trauma. A bullet is 4 paw pallets and a center pallet, which in total adds up to 27 per projectile, while her ammo capacity is at 24. The biotic projectiles go somewhat far, maximum range is 40 meters. If you haven't thought about it, movement characters are given movement privileges. Which means as a support Fat Cat with type 2 diabetes, not only do you have to worry about healing others while providing damage to your enemy team, you also have to maintain position, ground control, sombras that are in your location, and even the solo ulting Cassidy that wants you dead because of simply existing. So, to make it a movement ability, Forensic Flight is used to move around the map, making sure the slow 64-year-old grandpa can move to a safer location. However, it runs on a fuel source, so you can either use it sparingly, or all of it so you can get from one part of the map to the other destination. Lifeline being the main use to be a taxi driver, using it for third-person perspective purposes, or even delivering a pipe bomb to their team. It is fastly used on multiple locations. For an example, if you require to see what is going on behind the walls, but don't want to risk getting shot by that Widowmaker that hasn't moved out of that spot for years, all because of you going through that area, you could just simply press the Lifeline ability, and enhance your sight by an additional 1%. Another use of it outside of trafficking allies, some ultimates can be used. Bob, Death Blossom, Diva Bomb, Terror Surge, or just combo up with Cryo Freeze and Mauga's ultimate. Downside, if allies interact with it, your fuel will be slowed by 3 times, since allies are using your tether. Her, being another important ability to use, is an AoE ability that is used to provide healing. The max range of Purr is 10 meters, which doesn't sound far, but in definition, it's good enough to reach allies that need healing. Per Purr, it will heal allies by 30, and yourself. However, it will have a self-heal penalty by 40%. Purr will start off with 1, 2, 3, and 4, totaling up to 10 Purrs per activation. After the 4th Purr, it will be on a 12-second cooldown. My favorite part about this ability is when they grant you permission when on activating, it will give you 1 use of knockback.
Oh wait, that was me, what the fuck?
Finally, the white band grants you the ability to stun in a lighting radius, which is 6 meters, and the ability to refill your Forensic Flight fuel. The Catnipper ability can be used on slopes or flat surfaces, especially on spots that metaphorically sounds impossible to use on. When catnapping someone, you can either do one of the following to them: take them to your team for an all-out attack, eat them off to an underground, or just specifically press the button to simply let them go.
Allahu Akbar.
You basically have 4 seconds to hold them in the tether, otherwise it would automatically disconnect them from your tether instantly.
Oh, I got you about it.
Yep, here it comes.
Yep.
Moving on to perks, we have 2 minor perks, Ulterior Motive and Transport Shielding. Ulterior Motive will refill 15% of the healing dealt. While it may sound small, it can be important when it comes to movement and repositioning. Transport Shielding, granting 15 shield HP, it is a permanent when holding an ally on enemy. I do not have any footage of this. What minor perks select? Well, from my point of perspective, ulterior motive is an important choice. Small refill to your fuel can be an extension key to further your survivability. On to major perks. We have another two choice, Perfect Form or Claws Out. Perfect Form, while using per, will make all 4 pers into a flat 3. So instead of being a 10 per, it'll be a flat out 12 per. Next perk, Claws Out. Claws Out enhances one of your abilities, which is your melee. Enhanced melee attack will provide a wound damage over time, which will also give them 1 second of minus 30% of movement. So which of these perks may be important, you may ask? Well, it usually depends on the situation. However, most of the time, it'll be selected as Claws Out. It's mostly used to assassinate the most clueless-minded mercy player in the game, or just to get rid of the squishy for simply Counter-swapping will be a very common term for you when playing as Jetpack Cat. Due to her having movement ability and being in the air most of the time, you should always have high expectations that they will swap to one of these characters. Ash, Bastion, Bap, Cass, or even worse, Cass. Airborne characters intend to be countered by hit-scan characters because of 3 words, vulnerability and air. What's worse is that other heroes that would you to the spot by either hack, sleep on, or even hook would also give you hell. Keep in mind, however, these recordings and gameplay was caught at the 14th update. It would most likely change over time. Let's move on to some tips now. If you do happen to see a hero with an ability to disable movement, keep your ears perked up. Remember how I said earlier Catnip can stun enemies when make contact? That means you're able to stun enemies from their ults. Even though Catnip can be a situational ultimate, 9 times out of 10 you would use your ult to stun their ultimate. Finally, to wrap up with your ultimate, Catnip can also be used to refill your fuel, either for survivability, stalling a little bit longer, or heading to the point. The lifeline ability will grant you 30% movement speed boost. That means when on point, always abuse it when you have the chance, to make sure you're harder to hit and you're much faster to miss. Anywho, I'd like to say thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the dumb guide that I made.